Tales from the Terran Republic. John pulls a fast one and Sheila strikes it rich. John, oh, I was so worried about you. A stocky Polynesian woman with a streak of grey in her hair cried as she threw herself on him, kissing him repeatedly on the head. The nurse who escorted her smiled and left, closing the door. John asked with a laugh. I'm one of your lovers, darling. I rushed here all the way from Nakamura when I heard you got a little boo-boo, she exclaimed as she laid another big kiss on his face. Damn, it's good to see you again, John, she said with a toothy smile. Same here, Oleana. How have you been? Doing great. I signed on with Grey Weather Consulting and business has been good. Still can't believe you went and became a merc, John said, shaking his head. What about all that talk of settling down and becoming a real nurse? Yeah, I tried that. Fuck that noise. I lasted all of 4 months before I had to walk. So much bullshit. Couldn't do anything without asking some asshole for permission. With Grey Weather, I can actually do shit. Actually save lives instead of standing in front of a computer screen with my thumb up my ass. Well, I, for one, am very happy the nasty rumors I heard about you were true. John smiled. So you got it? Of course, sweetie, Oleana said as she opened the huge box of chocolates tucked under her arm and lifted off the top tray, revealing a med scanner, vials of an evil-looking green liquid, some syringes and other devices. And I got you the good stuff. It even isn't expired yet. Is that Greenweaver? John asked in surprise. That's restricted. Well, you said you were in a hurry, darling, and this is hurry in a bottle. Roll over and let me peek at that cute backside of yours. With a pained grunt, John rolled over on his side. Oleana pulled out the scanner and carefully surveyed the damage. Just civilians, she said. What? Did they screw something up? John asked in alarm. Nah, it's fine. Perfectly textbook for a civilian surgeon. They let the goddamn bots do the work. Perfectly safe, lazy, and exactly why your ass was going to be laying here for quite a while. Don't get me started. Yup. We can work with this, she said as she pulled a thin plastic pad from the chocolate box and carefully slid it underneath his vitals monitor. There, now they will be none the wiser, she said with a smile. Your real vitals are about to do some freaky shit. Oh, I'm down with the freaky shit. Not like this you aren't, she laughed as she pulled up his gown and drew a measure of the green liquid into the first syringe. Ever had this stuff in your spine before? Nope. It might sting a little. Seriously, this is going to hurt. Do I need something to bite on? Won't help, Oleana said as she pulled out some combat auto-injectors. Shit, are you going to heal me or shoot me? They will prevent you from going into shock. Yeah, it's going to be that bad, John. You sure you want to do this? John just smiled at her as he reached for the first auto-injector. You're tough. I'll give you that, Oleana said about an hour later. That's all we can do for now. We wait for 2 hours and then we start the second course. Can't wait, John said grimly, looking quite pale and haggard. There was a beeping noise. What's that? John asked with a little concern. My lookout just picked up a nurse saying that she was going to check on you, Oleana said as she covered up the box. She thinks you're cute, by the way. The door opened and the nurse walked in. It's time for your morning meds, she said with a big smile and then paused. Are you feeling okay? Oh yeah, just fine, John said with a pleasant, even smile. Just got a rather unpleasant email, that's all. Sorry, can't talk about it. Classified. I don't mean to be short, but I really need to get back to it, he said weakly, raising up his tablet. Everything doesn't look fine, she thought as she pulled up his vitals on her work tablet. Everything was well within normal ranges, though. That must have been one hell of an email. Okay, here, the nurse said, handing him a little polymer cup and a glass of water. It took all the willpower he had to move his arms, but he took them with a smile. Appreciate it, John said, forcing another smile. When Oleana said it was going to hurt, she wasn't fucking kidding. As soon as the nurse left, John just sagged into the bed. How long is this hell going to last? No more than a couple of days, tops. Are you fucking with me right now? I really wish I was. Timing her work around visits from an entirely overly inquisitive nurse, damn her good instincts, Oleana finally finished up the third and final series. There, you still with me, John? Define with you, he laughed weakly. Now what? Now you suffer for a while, she said as she pulled out a tablet and carefully examined his real, actual vital signs. Lovely. I'm going to hang out for a bit to see how these first few hours go, but then I have to bail. I would rather not go to prison. I would for you in a heartbeat, honey, but not if I can avoid it. No, don't risk yourself over this. Go now. Not until I see how this is going to turn out. These civilian twerps don't know about this shit, and if anything goes wrong, they are going to need me. Don't worry your pretty little butt, she said, giving it a little pat. Everything goes well, and I will be able to get away long before they figure out what I did. I feel like a shit not asking this until now, John said as he clenched his teeth. But how are you going to get away? Sweetie, I'm with fucking Greyweather. Just give us a good half hour before you peel off that sensor and I'll be halfway to a waiting ship. And when they pull up their security feeds, it will be like I was never even here, she said with a smile. Nice, John said as he convulsed. Oleana jumped up with her scanner. Shit, don't scare me like that, she exclaimed. Don't scare you? What the fuck was that? Just some nerves coming back online. No biggie. If that's no biggie, what's a biggie like? Let's just hope you don't find out. John, that's the last injector I can give you, Oleana said gravely about 2 hours later. It's about to really get rough. Oh, that doesn't sound good, John mumbled. On the bright side, she said, stroking his face. It looks like everything took. They should be able to take it from here or at least have time to call someone. You're gonna split. Yeah, all they have to do now is monitor you and give you real neural stabilizers and maybe a pain blocker or two. They might try to tell you that you need to go into a medical coma, but that's bullshit. I'll bear that in mind. Try to give me at least a few minutes before you separate that sensor from that little pad, she said as she kissed his forehead. But if you feel like you are going to pass out, be sure yank the fucker off before you do. I might not look like it, but I can still haul ass. Or take down a security guard if I have to. All this affection is completely inappropriate. Not anymore, it isn't, she said as she planted a big kiss on his lips. Whatever it is you're about to do, kick some ass. Intend to, he said with a smile. Now go. You will get that half hour. If you need me, you know where to find me, she said as she got to her feet. And remember, Greyweather Consulting is the Republic's premier provider of private strategic, tactical, security, and intelligence services. If you want to cry havoc, call Greyweather. And we are all loyal to the Republic for what it's worth. Don't know what you are neck deep in, but keep us in mind. With that, she blew him a kiss and walked out the door. About half an hour later, the nurse on duty walked in. It seems like your sensor fell off. Oh, there it is, she said as she picked the sensor out of the sheet and pressed it to his skin. Her tablet started beeping immediately. She looked down at it in shock. That can't be right, she said. She trotted out of the room and quickly returned with a full medical scanner in her hands. What? This can't be. She looked down at her scanner and then back up at John. He should be screaming in agony. Why is he just smiling at me? She thought, and then she recalled the conversations between him and the doctor and put two and two together. Accelerators. What did you do? What did she give you? She demanded. What do you think? John mumbled with a grin. She turned red in the face and screamed, "Idiot!" at him and sprinted out of the room. About 15 minutes later, the door opened and an old Kalesh with a white robe draped around him walked in. Okay, you crazy bastard, he said, wiggling his eye stalks. What are you on? What did she give you? Greenweaver. Holy shit, that stuff actually exists, the old Kalesh said as he pulled out a scanner and gently rolled John over on his side. Ow. I can imagine, the old doctor said as he looked at the scans. Fuck, right into the spine, too. How the are you even conscious? Hell, why didn't you go into shock? John just smiled and reached under his pillow, retrieving a handful of combat auto-injectors. You crazy stupid fucker. Well, I guess it isn't crazy if it worked, huh? He rolled John back over. Oh, I'm Dr. Balkan, formerly Major Balkan, by the way, Republic Army, and I'm going to be taking over your case. So, you have a gallon of Greenweaver in your back and more injectors in your bloodstream than I've ever seen before. He wiggled his eye stalks. This is going to be fun. He looked at his scanner again. Now I have a couple of questions for you, the doctor said. This sort of black magic voodoo was nothing but a wet dream back when I was in the service. Hell, it's still nothing but a wet dream for most of us. Considering your creative method in obtaining it, I take it you want to keep this quiet, or can I just call in the experts and be done with it? Aye, quiet. Figured. Okay, next question. Is there a very, and I mean very good reason for what you are doing? Yes, critical, Republic. Good enough for me, he said with an eye wiggle. Okay, Ambassador, let's do this. I'll do some quick research and make a few discreet phone calls, but it looks like what you really need is a top-shelf neural stabilizer, and probably something for what I can only assume are truly biblical levels of pain. You also have a brain-curdlingly high temperature, but I don't want to screw with anything metabolism-related until I actually know more about whatever the hell I'm dealing with here. We will just have to go old school, very old school. We will get started with that, and we'll do something. about all that combat gunk in your bloodstream. He wiggled his eye stalks. Now I will leave you to your well-deserved suffering, he laughed as he left. Moments later he heard the head nurse exclaim, "Ice!" from down the hall.